Hello, good morning, and welcome to Google Digital Garage. You are here today to go through the digital marketing strategy session. My name is Anthea, and I'm one of the trainers for Google's free skills training program, Google Digital Garage. Today, I am joined by the lovely Sarah, who is going to be our moderator for today's session. You'll be able to see Sarah within the chat as she will have a blue spanner next to her name. Sarah will be interacting with you, answering some of your questions, and throwing some of those questions over to me. So as we pause, as we go through today's session, I'll be able to respond to those as well. So today we're talking about how we can build a digital marketing plan so that we can reach new customers online. Before we dive into this, let's go through a few housekeeping tips for today. Firstly, if you are having any problems viewing, hearing, or anything this particular session today, please do refresh your page. That generally tends to solve most problems. If you're still having any issues, then please leave YouTube and come back with the same link, and then you will be able to join us and hopefully those issues are resolved. If you would like to comment as we go through, or if you have any questions around digital marketing that you would like to ask, you will need to have a YouTube account. If you don't have a YouTube account, you can click the box that sits within the YouTube chat right now, set up an account in a matter of moments, and you'll come back probably before I finish the housekeeping. If you do have a YouTube account, please do log in now, and then that will give you access to the comments field, enable for you to chat with Sarah and myself today. I'll explain the structure of today's session, but we will have a few pauses across the session for you to ask questions. Please don't wait until the pause to ask your question. Drop your questions into the chat as soon as they come to your mind, and Sarah will be answering them or passing them over so we can talk about them on screen live for the wider audience. We are running these particular sessions in conjunction with a huge catalogue of other webinars that we have on Google Digital Garage. So please do visit our website and look at any other sessions that might be running that you would benefit from. Today, we're talking about digital marketing strategy. One of the things that's included is social media. So we have writing for social media and social media strategy. Maybe you want to learn a bit more about how to create videos on YouTube or build more engaging presentations. Maybe you're a professional and you are looking at enhancing your career, but not quite sure what you want to do. So we have sessions around how you can find your career goals and also how you can create a CV and also build a covering letter. So we have a huge range of webinars that are available. So please do visit our website, excuse me, and hop on and sign up to any of the sessions that you feel might be useful for you. As a reminder, today's session will be available for 24 hours using the exact same link. So if there's anything that I cover today and you think, oh gosh, I missed that, I'd like to get a refresher, just come back once the live is finished and you'll be able to scroll to any particular point. So if there's specific areas that I've been talking about something of interest, make a note of the time, the number of minutes into the session, so that when you come back to review the replay, you can jump straight in. I believe that is all we need to get started, so let us dive right in. So we've got a few hellos here, so I can see we've got a few people saying hello. Emily, we've got Jen Hui, I hope I've pronounced that correctly. 4285, Anghui, Yong, Panaru, again, apologies if I've mispronounced that. Leela, Techcentrica, hello to everyone. We've got quite a lot of people on here, so thank you so much for saying hello. I'm saying hello to everyone back, and please stay engaged. This is an opportunity for you to interact with us, speak to us, and comment and share some of your insights that can also be useful for other people who have joined today's session. Now, we are going to break this down into 3 sections. So the first part is just understanding what is digital marketing and how can it benefit you. Then we'll look at all of the different channels, or some of the different channels that you can use in order to market your business. And then finally, we'll wrap up with some steps that help you to build a digital marketing plan and how you can go about measuring how effective that plan is. So if you happen to be based in the UK, we do have free mentoring available from Google. So if you're a small business or a charity, and as I mentioned, you're based in the UK, you can sign up for free one-to-one mentoring, and Sarah will drop the link into the chat for you, which will enable you to have a conversation with myself, with Sarah, or one of the other Google Digital Garage coaches, and we'll just talk to you about your business. We meet for 1 hour on Google Meet, and we'll help you to figure out how you can overcome your latest business challenge. There are a lot of people who've achieved much success in their business simply by having mentoring and the eyes and ears of somebody else. So if you are based in the UK, I would definitely recommend that you sign up for those sessions. Now, before we look at how we can take advantage of digital marketing, we need to look at the landscape. Now, what opportunities might you get from being online? So thinking about your own businesses, post into the chat. Let us know, what opportunities do you think that your business might be able to get from being online? Let us know in the chat. There are a lot of benefits to being online, and there are some generic benefits, and there are benefits that are going to be specific to the type of business that you have. For example, if you've got a bricks and mortar business, if you're online only, if you're trying to reach a global market, whatever the case might be, there are benefits for you to being online. So do let us know in the chat, what opportunities do you think that you will get from your business by being online? As we live in a mobile world, it's changing how we act and behave as human beings. It's so interesting, walking down the street yesterday, there were so many people whose heads were down in their phones, barely even looking. It's only when they see the foot of somebody else that they look up and actually pay attention to the world. And it's because these mobile phones have so much information on there, so much knowledge, and also people that we may not normally get access to. And we can have the answer to near enough any question that we want to know the answer to at our fingertips. We can do our own research. We can do our own marketing. We can communicate with other people. So it's really powerful to realize what a mobile phone can do and who it can give you access to. So in the UK, 80% of people are buying online. So 80% of the population are online. And so when you are not online, you're missing out an entire market that you can potentially sell your products and services to. 2.5 billion smartphones are in use today. Now, considering we've got around 7.7-ish billion people in the world, that's a huge number who are using smartphones. And if they're using smartphones, mostly the reason is because they have access to the internet. So therefore, by them being online, again, immediately gives you access. And across the world, 60% of searches are done on mobile devices. So now you're in a place where people aren't waiting to get to a laptop. They are just having an idea. They're thinking about something. They want something, and they just go straight to their phone to figure it out. So we're talking about opportunities from being in line. And Jen Hui said there's a bigger scope of target customer. Chen Hong said being online allows our business to be noticed globally and provides us information for analytics purposes to better target our customers. Excellent. And Computer Leela is saying you can promote on a large scale. So these are for you to understand what it is to be online. You first need to understand how it's going to benefit you. If you don't understand the benefits, it's going to be difficult for you to put together a strategy that will help you to meet your goals. So you can expand on your customer base, as we've mentioned, because people are now online from everywhere. So now, instead of having a market just in your small town, in your city, in your country, you now have access to the entire world. And if you're not there, your competitors will be. So do remember that this is an opportunity, but you can lose it if you don't act on it. So here we've got learning about customers, and Chen Hong had mentioned about using things like analytics. And that's really important to know, is that if you don't already have Google Analytics and you have a website, please go and get it immediately. Sarah, if you're able to drop a link for Google Analytics, what it does is it sits in the background once you've connected it to your website, and it collects some information to help you better understand your customers. What's the demographic? What's the location? What's the gender? What's the age range? And when you are creating products and services, you need to ensure that you are targeting them to the people that are within your audience. So if you find that you're getting a lot of people coming from outside of your target audience, it helps you to get curious to understand why, and also identify whether or not you're missing out on an audience because you hadn't figured out who actually needs your products and services. And if you're in Facebook and other platforms like that, you can use the insights to learn more about your customers. Another thing that being online does is it enables you to communicate and support better. So being online means people can communicate with businesses easily and quickly. How many people have tried to call an organization, have to press this button, then you hear another menu. You press that button, you hear another menu. You press this button, you hear another menu. 15, 20 minutes in, you still haven't spoken to a human being. So being online then allows you to communicate directly. You can cut all of those middlemen out of the way and just speak directly to the business and get yourself heard. So you can communicate through social media apps, and the communication with the public is useful for other people. So potential customers can see, how do you interact with your clients? How do you interact with people who are interested or asking questions about your business? However, if you don't respond publicly, it can also have a negative effect. So whether the responses for reviews or comments or questions come in and they're positive or negative, make sure you're consistently responding, because other people are looking at your organization to see how you treat your customers. Okay, so pausing for the first part, just to give you an introduction to digital, to the benefits of being online. Doesn't look like we have any questions. That's fine. As soon as any come to mind, drop them in the chat and we will be good to go. So let's look at some of the digital marketing strategies. We know the benefit of digital marketing. So before we start putting together a plan, we need to really look at what channels we might want to explore. So as digital picks up speed now, new channels are becoming available, but we're going to focus on 6 specific and the more established platforms. So we've got search engine optimization, or SEO, as people would probably refer to it. And this is about, how do you optimize your website so that it shows more frequently in search engine results? So again, how does someone search for a product or a service like yours, where you become higher in the ranking for the search results? That's essentially what we're saying. Search engine marketing, or SEM, is about you paying for an advert to appear in a search engine for people who are searching for products and services like yours. Social media marketing. This is about you using social media platforms to gain traffic, attention, reach new people, sell your products and services, acquire new followers, whatever the case might be. It's about you putting yourself on social platforms so people understand who you are as a business or who you are as a brand. And then you've got display marketing, which is online advertising. It takes on a number of different forms, but is not limited to search engines. You can advertise anywhere on the internet. Then you have email marketing, which is somebody is giving you their email address in order for you to communicate with them. So this is you communicating with newsletters, talking about your brand, your business, whatever the case might be. And therefore, because they've given you permission to, it sits outside of any social media platform. So if any of those social media platforms go down, you still have an email marketing list. And then finally, we'll look at content marketing, which is creating and sharing different types of content. So especially for those who are trying to be thought leaders, content is king. You need to have enough content going out there so that people can understand what separates you from other organizations, what separates your way of doing things, your frameworks, your products, your services, etc. And putting all of that information out there allows people to take that information in a way that suits them. So let's get started with search marketing. And again, this is all about using the power of search to reach new customers. Now, this is the search engine results page, or SERP. Now, you must be familiar with this. Anytime you do a Google search or search on any platform, to be honest, they generally tend to contain the same three things. Firstly, you'll have the search query, which sits at the top. Now, this is your ability to craft a sentence or a phrase that helps the search engine identify what it is that you are trying to find. What problem do you have that you want the search engine to solve? The next is the paid text and shopping ads. So once you've got your search query, you press enter or click on the magnifying glass, a number of results come down. For people who have paid for advertisements, a number of those will, a number of those will automatically appear at the top. So if you're searching for compact cameras, this is displaying. Those who've paid for advertisements relating to compact cameras will be shown at the top. And then lastly, you have organic search listings. So this is where SEO comes into play. So for your website will contain a list of keywords and other things that help the search engine to identify how relevant you are to any phrase that's put into the search field. The more relevant your website is to the search phrase that's been entered, the higher your ranking. And so therefore, any organic listings will be shown in order of relevance. So the aim for most people is to get to page 1. You could be on page 12, page 200. All of that is going to be based on how relevant your content is on the website in relation to the search query. So how do you get started with search engine optimization? So SEO is about boosting your visibility. And this process involves you helping Google to understand your web pages and also create an experience that's relevant for people who visit your website. So there is a free tool called Google Search Console. And this will be able to more accurately tell you how you rank on Google search and also identify if there's any errors on your website that's going to make it difficult for Google to rank you highly. There may be some performance issues that you've got. Maybe you've got some images that are too big and are taking too long to load. And that's one of the reasons why people are not visiting your site, because it's taking too long to load. It also enables you to send alerts on any critical issues. So again, very useful for you to use Search Console to get a picture of where does my website currently sit, and then how can I make some improvements with that. The next bit is to consider submitting a sitemap to Google to help the Google bots understand the structure of your website. So when it comes to being indexed, it knows how your site links together. So how do you go from home to your shop, to your about us, to your book a call, to your services page? All of those things interlink. So if you submit a sitemap, it helps Google to understand the structure and how things fit together. So the last part then is to look into creating valuable content. Now, it doesn't matter, you've got a website, great, but the content needs to be good. You have to have things that people are going to find valuable. And if they don't find it valuable or useful, people are not going to click onto your page, and people are going to, essentially, by not clicking on your page, it indicates that you're not relevant to what they're looking for. So a few tips then to be successful in terms of SEO is make sure you're running a keyword search. In Google Ads, there is a keyword planner tool. So Google Ads is a free account that you can set up, and you don't have to create an ad, but going through the process of creating an ad gets you to the keyword planner tool. So by using that, you can pull off some of the keywords that you think your target audience might be using and put them in there, and it will help you to discover words and phrases that people are looking for when they're searching for, products and services that are related to your business. It gives you an indication about how many people are searching for those particular terms on a monthly basis. The next thing you want to do is make sure you're publishing useful, high quality content. Again, it all comes down to the relevance. So you want to make sure that you're helping the search engine better understand your content and how relevant it is to the phrases that are being searched for. And then lastly, make it search friendly. So title, meta description are important because they are also used by search engines to generate the result that sits on the results page. So in your title and your description, it should be very clear what your business does or what page that they are landing on. If it's not clear what they do, if it's not clear, how you help, people will just skip by that result and go to one of your competitors. So take your time with this, make sure that you're doing what you need to do, because if you don't spend time really getting all of these points looked at, you'll find that your ranking doesn't increase over time. So we discussed that, many areas of search that focus your effort on building visibility, but another area that you can increase your results is getting put into local business listings. So Google Business Profile allows you to create a profile, specify what location that you're based in, and gives some information or a snapshot of information about your business. And this is really useful. Again, it's another free account. This is useful because if your business appears on page 5, let's say, of organic search listings, a Google Business Profile of your business can still appear on page 1 within search and maps. So even if your website is not ranking highly, by having a Google Business Profile, it's essentially the same as local SEO. It helps you to show that you are in a particular area or you serve a particular area. You've also got Bing, you've got TripAdvisor, and you've also got Yelp. So think about what business listings you have I know we've got people joining from worldwide. So think about places that are local listings for your country, for your town, for your city, and see if you can create a listing in one of those directories. Make sure that you're showing people that you're active. Update your business info. If anything changes, one of the pet peeves that people have is that they come across a website, it's got a phone number, they phone it, and it's out of date. It's no longer active. They've got an email address, they get a bounce back. So every time you're changing anything to do with your business and it's to do with communication, contact information, ensure that you have everything up to date. Add photos of your business and your team. Let people get a look inside your business. Add a virtual tour if that's relevant. And then make sure that you're responding to reviews, whether they're good or bad. As I mentioned before, other people are looking to see how you manage your customer service. So what's the difference between search engine optimization and search engine marketing? Well, with search engine optimization, your search listings are free. It's about how you are able to increase your ranking up that organic search list. And you do that through optimizing your keywords and taking your time to really understand or make sure that Google understands you better. Whereas with search engine marketing, it's you pay for a place. That just beneath the search query, underneath there, you've got a section where you can pay to have your listing there. You will bid on particular keywords. So when people search for a keyword, you will be placed in that particular area. And every time they click, depending on how you set up your ad, you will be charged for someone to get to you. But that puts you on the first page. So again, think about what speed you want to appear on search listings. And even if you decide to go for search engine marketing, it's always good to improve your SEO. Having an organic stream of traffic come into your business is always beneficial. So how do you get started with search engine marketing? Well, first thing you need to do is create a campaign in Google Ads. You will search You'll put a search campaign for that. You'll pick your keywords to make sure that you are aligning to the right people. You've got the right match types. You want to include a phone number, a link to a website, a specific product, etc. So you'll go through that whole process to create an ad that will appear at the top, and people will only click it if it's compelling. So really look at how can you focus on the user benefits, not the features, but the benefits. How do you, or does your product or service add value to their life? And then you create copy that appeals to people, and you focus on the headlines that you're using, because that's the thing that's going to get people to stop and pay attention. And then you have all of these different extensions to ensure that the way they want to communicate or interact with you is there. So ads is definitely something worth looking into if you want a slightly faster turnaround in terms of gaining traffic to your website. So a few tips then. Again, optimize your keyword list. Go back into the keyword planner tool and make sure that you are picking keywords that you know relate to the products and services that you are offering. Boost your ad with extensions. So this can make you stand out. So you've got the phone, you've got email, you've got, you know, addresses. So add as much as possible so that people can learn who you are, and then connect to your analytics account. So you want to keep track and measure the success of the ads that you're running. So make sure your Google Analytics is connected to your website as well as your ads, and that enables you to measure or track. Display marketing is, has anyone used, and let me know in the chat if you've used any of these digital marketing channels so far. But responsive display ads use machine learning to create ads that can fit anywhere across the web. So you don't have to be limited to just the search results page. Some of you may have even found that when you are on, I don't know, reading an article online, on the right-hand side, the left-hand side, the top, somewhere in the middle, there is an ad that pops up. That's it. So I'm looking at something and I'm not specifically searching for a product or a service, yet I'm seeing an ad. So there are different types of ads. You can have text ads, you can have video, banner ads, you know, all of those kind of things. And you can decide where to place it. So for example, I might choose to have a display ad for an organization who write blogs on fitness. I sell smoothies. So I'm not competing with the sites I'm advertising on, but I'm targeting an audience who are more likely to already be interested in the products and services that I offer. So if you're into working out and you're going to these blogs or these websites to find out about the new workout, how you can improve your fitness, and an ad comes up about how you can use my smoothies to fuel your workouts and improve fat loss or muscle gain, you're more likely to pay attention. So how do we get started with display advertising? Interestingly, a lot of these things are all down to the campaigns that you create in Google. So you start a Google campaign, but this time you select display. Choose the right type of targeting. Who's your demographic? What keywords do you want to use? What placements do you want? What topics do they relate to? Are there any audiences that kind of align to who you're targeting? And you go through that whole process to really be as specific as possible. So campaigns are really good because they help you to organize how you promote them. If you've got multiple products, you might want to create a campaign for each. So maybe I've got smoothies for fat loss, and then I've got smoothies for muscle gain, and I will have different campaigns where I get them to advertise in different spaces, right? And then that means that I'm more likely to connect with my target audience and therefore get click-throughs. So remember that these all are based on you creating an ad, and that ad should be creative. Remember, people are not specifically looking for what you're searching for because they're on an article, they're on a different website. So it's really important to ensure that you are creating an ad that really makes people stop in their tracks. Use really great imagery, use the right language, have really catchy copy, and also make sure you have a call to action so that they know this is what you want them to do. Because people will just look at it, say that's great, and move on. but you really need to disrupt their thinking so that they stop, focus on what you're asking them to do, and go and do it. So a few tips there is, again, understand your customers. We've mentioned on other webinars, and you may have heard this, you really need to get together a user persona, an avatar, pen portrait, something that really makes it clear, who am I targeting? Age, location, gender, what are they interested in? What kind of problems are they having, etc. And so if you're able to get that information, understand your customers, look at the insights, look at the trends, ask people, run polls, learn more about your customers, and then also consider how you can remarket. So when you have a number of click-throughs and people have not gone to conversion, you can create ads that allow you to retarget people. So people who've clicked through but not bought. And then you can create a separate ad specifically to them, talking about a new pain point, a new challenge, or a new benefit that your particular service has. And then lastly, test and optimize. You cannot guarantee results for any ad that you put out. Marketing is testing. That's essentially what it is. So whenever you market, the reason you need to have clear goals is so that you can measure them. And if they're not working, that you can try something different, but pull out the specific things that did work and use that moving forward. Social media marketing. Now, again, a lot of people are spending their time online. A lot of people are spending their time on social media platforms. And now you have the opportunity to reach them within the social media platform. Social media is great for awareness. First and foremost, when you're on social media, you can talk about your business. People just become aware of you based on the content that you're sharing. So another thing is that it helps to generate more sales. So if 85% of the UK population are on some form of social media platform, it's a really good place for you to connect with new customers, reach new audiences, have business opportunities, target specific demographics, and build relationships and networks. You can add value to your brand by using, chatbots, or help you to respond quicker to customers and have two-way conversations. It boosts your customer service levels if your customer service is good. You can start those two-way conversations, get into someone's DMs, comment on one of your customers' posts, show a different side to your business, and build your own community of followers. And then lastly, you can use it to improve your marketing. So again, understanding your customers better. Who do they follow? When do they follow? How much engagement am I getting for specific posts that I put out? Getting more noticed on searches, attracting more people to your website. The more interactions you have, the more insights that you get, which you'll find on each of the social media platforms. And then you can also keep an eye on your competitors. Yes, you want to get new customers and clients, but remember that your competitors are on there as well. Have a look. What are they doing? What's going well for them? What's not going so well? Is there anything that they're doing that I could potentially try in line with how my business works? So again, you've got organic and you've got paid. So let us know in the chat if anyone has used, paid social media, if you've had any good results from that. Particularly, it'll be interesting to know. So organic social media is essentially free. You create an account, a profile, and you post. You will only reach the people who currently follow you. So sometimes you will have to be present in other places and direct people to your social media, or you are relying on people that to come across your content and share it with someone else who then follows you, and then because they follow you, they share it, etc. So it's kind of like social marketing. With paid social media, you're paying every time someone views, clicks, or does an action, but it allows you to reach anyone. So once you understand who you're trying to reach, you build your ad around a particular audience, and your ad will be shown to that audience. So again, it's all about speed. Organic social media is always good. And while you're doing that, if you want to have a quicker response, then paying is always useful. To get started, identify your target audience. And we're pretty much going to say this every single time, because if you don't know who you are targeting, how do you know what to say? How do you know where to be? It's important that you always start with defining your audience. Who are they? What are they into? Who or what influences them? When are they online? Which social media platforms do they use? So remember that when we are using social media marketing, it should be based on where my customers are, not which platform I prefer to use. If you do it based on whatever platform you feel okay to use, your audience may not be there, and it's a waste of time and effort. Choose your social media channels carefully for that reason. Think about, is it business focused? Is it lifestyle focused? And although you may have some experts say, be on all social media platforms, I can tell you it's tiring, very tiring. So test it out. You don't have to be on every single platform, and you're not missing anything. Because just because you're present on a platform doesn't mean that it's the right platform and that you're going to reach the market that you're looking for. So figure out where you think your target audience is likely to be, and then start there. Gain traction, start getting conversions. And if that's working, then move on to the next one. If it doesn't work, move on to the next one. But remember that different channels need different strategies. So every time you go to a different channel, you're going to need a new strategy, which means more time, money, resources. Make sure that you're posting consistently. So it says post engaging content regularly. I say consistently. Whether you are posting once a week, once a day, 4 times a day, twice a week, none of that matters. It needs to be consistent. People, it's like having opening hours. People know you are open at these times, so they are likely to expect you to be open at those times. They're likely to expect you to post content at those times. So if you post, once a day for 5 days, and then you go, oh gosh, that was a lot of effort, I'm going to take a break for 2 weeks, you've already lost them, because they don't see consistency in how you operate your social media. So if you're an ad hoc poster and you post whenever you feel, but every day you're sharing stories, that's fine too. But be consistent in whatever you decide to do. Be realistic about how often you can post based on the resources you have available to you. And it can be photos, videos, you can write blogs, you can do infographics, and you can do a live. If you're a better speaker than you are a writer, just go live. Say what's on your mind. Gives people an opportunity to comment. What are some tips that you can have? Well, set yourself a goal. And your social media goal should help you to meet your business goal. So if you don't yet have a business goal, don't get on social media. You need to figure out, why does my business exist? What am I trying to achieve in the next quarter, 6 months, 1 year, 5 years, whatever the case might be? And depending on the social media, the digital marketing channel I choose, what does that help me to achieve in terms of my longer lasting business goal? Once you've established that and you know what your social media presence is going to help you achieve, you can then decide, right, I'm going to move forward for this reason, and this is who I'm going to target, and I'm going to post regularly to ensure that I get access to them and that I start to engage with them, and hopefully get to that point where you increase conversions, or whatever the goal is that you have. So knowing your audience is key to success. So ensure that you target them well, cut through the noise, just create targeted and tailored messages that resonate with them and invoke some form of action. Social media is a lot, and yes, there are people who go into social media and they're looking for things. There are also people who want to receive things. There's so much going on social media. Some people want something very targeted, and that's where email marketing can come in. Now, this is good because it helps you to build a list, build customer loyalty and engagement, and enable you to actively promote your own services, because people have opted in. With email marketing, people are specifically saying, here's my email address, you take it. So it's not one-to-one messages. It's an email that's sent to a mass, but makes it feel like you're speaking directly to one person. As I mentioned, it's permission-based, and it gives you the opportunity to expand on content. Now, what we definitely advise is don't use the same content on social media as you do in your emails. People need to feel like they're getting something different from opting into your mailing list. And it can't just be sell, 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 sell. So you want to have a variety that helps, again, always comes back to that question. How am I adding value to this person's life? Think about that before you create your content. So firstly, you need to select a platform. There are lots of free platforms, MailChimp, ConvertKit, and many others. Just search for free email marketing platforms and there'll be a lot that come up. And there are also some more advanced ones that you have to pay for: ActiveCampaign, SendGrid, Drip, etc. So what you would need to do is get your email platform and then start building a list of contacts. So when you have things like calls to action, your call to action could be join our mailing list plus 4 benefits, whatever that is. So you're encouraging people to come in. It could be that you've got what's called a lead magnet. So you're attracting people to your business by offering them something either low cost or free so that they join your mailing list and give you their permission to contact you. There are content. I keep saying content is king, right? It's so important. If you don't have content that's going to make people open up your email amongst the other hundreds we get bombarded with every single day, you're not going to reach the people that you need to. So really focus on the user. What are your potential audience? What is it that they need to hear? What's going to be most valuable for them? Treat them like VIPs. Make sure that it's not long-winded for the sake of being long-winded. It just needs to be that I'm giving you something that adds value to your life, and that's it. And at some point, you may want to work with me, you may want to buy from me, but the focus is that I'm leading you. I'm building trust and loyalty so that you see that I have the solution to your problem. So what are some tips then? When you get your mailing list, let's say there are 100 people that you've got, you have an opportunity to segment it. So again, going back to the smoothies example that I use, maybe there are smoothies for people who are looking for weight loss, people who are looking for muscle gain, and then there are people who might want to be trying smoothies for some other reason, or maybe there's another product. I can actually segment the mailing list based on questions I ask them as they sign up. So anyone who's interested in fat loss will only get content specific to fat loss. Anyone who's interested in muscle gain will only get content specific to muscle gain. So segmenting it means that they're getting exactly what they need and it's not generic messages going out. Keep it short. As I mentioned, people are bombarded. I just want a quick fix. When I get emails that are just long, I just think I don't want to read a blog in an email. I just don't. So keep it short, keep it concise. Make it clear that you're adding value, because remember, time cannot be replenished. If you waste my time, I'm not coming back. And then when you're using your email platforms, remember that you have insights. So when you're sending your emails out, it will give you an idea of how many people are clicking through, how many people are unsubscribing, how many people are clicking the links in the emails that you're sending. And that gives you an idea about how people are interacting with your content and gives you an opportunity to change things up as well. Okay, lastly, we're going to talk quickly about content marketing. So, the essence of content as a marketing strategy is the belief that if brands can deliver consistent, ongoing, valuable information to buyers, they're going to reward us with their loyalty. But content marketing is more about just selling ideas as opposed to products, and using things like storytelling to build relationships with your customers. So it's not building content and then saying, buy. Here's a product, buy it. Here is a service, buy it. It's not that. It's helping you to build relationships with people who trust you enough to know that you can solve their problem. And because they trust you now, they will buy your solution to their problem. So there are different forms of content marketing. We've got videos, you've got things like YouTube, you've got blogs. So people who want to maybe solve a specific problem, there's always like 5 ways to avoid procrastination, top 3 tips for, creating an Instagram profile, like whatever it is, it's something that's useful that people can come back to time and time again. Then you've got things like case studies. Case studies say this has worked before. So any examples that you've got within your business of helping a specific customer, create a case study. If you don't have one, go back to existing clients and ask them, can they supply some information to be part of a case study? And then also guides. Guides are really useful. There's so many things popping up. I recently just joined Threads on Instagram, and I was like, okay, so how does this work? So instead of trying to figure it out myself, I hopped onto YouTube, did a quick search, found a video that gave me a breakdown of everything I needed to know, and then I created my first post. So don't underestimate the power of a guide. People need to know how to, and they don't want to spend time reading instructions or having to figure things out. So if you can be the person who takes all of this information and brings it to this to help them do something, to help them create something. We had someone the other day who said that they managed to do some DIY in the home simply by watching a YouTube video. They are now indebted to that YouTube video. They've subscribed and they will constantly go back because it's helped them solve a problem. How do we get started? Again, who is your audience? Build that persona, the pen portrait, the avatar. Understand who they are. Create different profiles for each of your segments. So again, going back to my example, who are the ones? What are the problems or the people who are focused on fat loss? Who are the people who are focused on muscle gain? What do I need to know about them? And then create a map. So if I took them on a journey through my business, what questions are they likely to ask? What objections are they likely to have? What do they need to see or hear to help influence them to make that decision? And then you use all of that information to generate content so that you can have that call to action that helps them to take action. So a few tips for success is, use that content to facilitate that sales process, adding in answers to potential objections that might come in. Use storytelling, help them connect with your story or a story of your customer. And then distribute that content in different places in different ways to maximize your reach. And then again, measure your performance. Okay, so we are stopping for questions. Maria Salazar is asking, if I have a dual language audience, shall I create 2 different campaigns, one on each language? That's totally up to you. If you speak to them in different languages, then you might want to do that so you can track the audiences specifically and get feedback about each of them. For example, if you did an email marketing campaign, then you would want to have 2, one for language A, one for language B, and then the insights that you get in that help you to understand what each audience needs so that you can make any potential tweaks. But again, it's up to you. You can send it out generically, see what results come back, but the more detailed you can be, the better the insights that come back are. Computer Leader is asking, how can we check our blog or web page is right for ranking in Google? So I'd go to, I don't think we do any webinars specifically on that, but just Google improving my SEO, and it will have a number of tips. Watch this again. There were some tips that I gave earlier about having Google Search Console to improve your performance of your website, then understanding keywords, what keywords need to be used, having your metadata accurate, that improves the relevance and that will increase your SEO. Also having backlinks, so linking back to another place within your website or having other people linking back to you. So if there's other places who are able to link to your blog or your website, then yeah, that will also help increase the relevance. How is a good SEO performance beneficial to our SEM performance? To a degree, so this is a question by Jessica, to a degree it's not. So having SEO performance is just in general, you want to be able to rank well on Google full stop. SEM is not so much about your website, it's more about the content that you put when you're creating the campaign. So how specific you are about the keywords that you're using and how relevant that is to the search queries that the end user are using. It definitely helps to have good SEO, but it's not a direct impact on SEM performance. Your SEM, you need to have very clear understanding of your audience so that you are able to, reach the right people as you go through. Okay, so moving on so we can go through the plan. If you've got questions, please do drop them into the chat as we go. Right, let's build a digital marketing plan. 6 steps. We're going to look at the goals and objectives, your budget, resources, your audience, your channels, what activity you're going to plan, and then measure that as well. So if we look at business goals and objectives, as I mentioned before, you need to have a business goal in order to have a social media or digital marketing goal. So what is it that you want to achieve? You want to have more customers coming through. You want to make more people known in your area that your business exists, right? So what would be some examples of online objectives? That would then be to increase traffic to your website, increase the number of sales. It could be to increase social media page likes and follows from your customers, which show that you've got engagement, and increase online reach and awareness. So you need to have very specific objectives that help you meet your overall goal. Now, business goals should align with your online objectives, as I've mentioned. So if you want to make more people aware that you exist, then your objective is to increase your online reach and awareness. If you want to get more returning customers, then you probably want to increase traffic to your website. So think about what is it you want to achieve, and then what's the objective that you need to have online in order to help you achieve the business goal. What's the budget and resource that you've got? All right, so we can tend to say, I don't have enough money. But when you start with a negative, you'll never find a solution. So ask a question. What is possible? You can always do something with what you have. So if you don't have a website and you think it's going to cost too much, the question is, what can you do? To be honest, with a website, that's no longer an excuse. Google offer free websites. Sarah, if you're able to place the link in the chat, Google Sites, you can get a free website. You can choose off of a template and just adjust it according to your color, your brand, your theme, all of that, and you can direct people to it. So it's more of a time investment than money. So again, thinking about what is possible is more important than telling yourself what you can't do. When you understand what's available, you can always make something work. Who is your audience? We've looked at this before. Be very clear about who you are targeting. Specific people in a specific area of a specific age group who are interested in a certain thing. They earn a certain amount of money. They use certain types of platforms. Yes, you're going to exclude a vast majority of the world, but there is still enough customers for your business to thrive. The more specific you can be, the better. So then we've got marketing channels. So which one is going to be right for you? Again, remember, it's all about where your audience are likely to be. So if you want to increase online reach and awareness, use display, social media, content marketing. It's about getting out there and being visible. If you want to increase sales, then you want to look at paid marketing, SEO, and email marketing so you can specifically target people. If you want to increase traffic to your website, again, you might want to pay for that, improve your SEO, and also include links in your emails so that your customers go back. And if you want to increase loyalty, again, you've got social media, so people keep signing up to your profile, keep coming back, email marketing, and also content marketing. Next thing to do is plan your activity. So get really detailed here. What if I know exactly what it is that I want to achieve, I know what's available to me in terms of budget and resource, what are the steps that I need to logically take in order to achieve that based on what I have? So if you have a particular objective, then start to think about what can you do with that. So in this example, you can get a Google business profile and also create a free website. So that's 2 issues now resolved. You can set up a Facebook page, collect reviews, and post pictures of your products and services. That issue is resolved. And then you can also use advertising to get people in the local area to come to a physical place for them to experience your products and services. So again, always think what's possible. And when you're planning your activity, also figure out what is likely to get in the way. What is something that you are likely to procrastinate on or run into some challenge, so that you can mitigate that in advance and not try to do it when you're feeling overwhelmed and stressed in the moment? And then lastly, how do you know if you succeeded? It's all about being very smart about the objectives that you set. So a broad objective is increase online sales. Okay, so I have one sale this year. Is that good for my business? Probably not, unless that one sale, gives me the enough revenue for my business for a year. But that's highly unlikely. So let's get a bit smarter about this. I want to increase online sales by 20% within 3 months. The idea of a SMART goal is that at any given time, you can look at it and say, yes, I've achieved it, or no, I haven't. So you know that it's going to have a specific impact because of how you've structured your objective, and that you can say, yes, I've achieved it, no, I haven't, or I'm this close to achieving it. And the same goes for brand awareness. What does that even mean? What does that even mean? So you want to make sure that you're saying, I want to increase brand awareness by growing your audience with new people by 40%. And you can track those things depending on which platform that you're on. So if we were to create a digital marketing plan for Max, who doesn't have a website, can't afford it, he wants to reach more people in his local area and get more customers returning, then what we would do is, his business goal is to reach more people in his local area to get more customers through his door. His audience are females 39 to 45 in a particular area who are specifically past customers. He will use local SEO and Facebook because that's a lifestyle platform. He's going to build a website using Google, use Facebook to advertise to people in his local area. He will increase online reach and increase returning customers, increase Facebook likes by 50% in the next month, and increase bookings from past customers by 20% in the next quarter. All very clear. So at any point, Max can go and say, I'm on track, I'm falling behind, yes or no, I have achieved this or not. 6 steps to building a digital marketing plan. So remember, this is available for another 24 hours. So if you need to come back to this and go through those 6 steps again, please do. But the more clarity you can have in how you are marketing, why you are marketing, and who you are marketing to, will always help you to have a better result. So final questions. David is asking, does the keyword planner bring up suggestions based on search history of your related keywords? I think I might have understood, if I understand correctly. So when you go into the keyword planner tool, what it does is it looks at search volumes. So you put in certain keywords and then it will tell you the rough number of people who are searching for those particular keywords in a given time frame. So that's useful to know. For example, if I'm looking at the last year, or if I'm looking at the last month, how many people have searched for this particular keyword? And then it will also give you suggestions of other similar keywords that you could use. And when you look at the results from that, you might see that some of those other keywords have been searched more, and therefore it might be more beneficial for you to use those keywords instead. So play around with it, see what comes up, and it's definitely a useful resource to have. Okay, so last couple of minutes then, let's wrap up. What are your next steps? Drop in the chat. What's one thing that you're going to do following this digital marketing strategy session today? Don't have a huge list. What's one thing that you are going to take away from today and apply to your business? Remember that if you are based in the UK, you can have access to one-to-one mentoring for free. Hop on a Google Meet with us. We'll talk, figure out where you are in your business, what it is you're trying to achieve, what are your business goals, how can we help you structure that, and what resources do we have that could potentially help you to take that next step forward. It's not about solving all of the problems, it's just solving the next one, getting over the next hurdle so you can really make some serious progress in your business. We hope that you have found today's session useful and it's giving you some some food for thought in terms of digital marketing and which channel you might want to go into. Remember that we're running a plethora of different sessions, so do visit our website and sign up to other ones. And lastly, please do leave us some feedback so that you are able to let us know whether or not the sessions that we're running are giving you exactly what you need, or if there's any other topics that you might find useful. So thanks again for joining today. Thank you for all of the questions, all of the comments that you've had. Thank you so much to Sarah, who's been kept extremely busy, extremely busy today. And we hope to welcome you to another Google Digital Garage session soon. Take care.